180-day weed challenge. Okay, so what is that? This is something that I recommend to my viewers that don't believe that they have an addiction when it comes to marijuana. So what do I mean by that? So when it comes to an addiction, for the most part, people tend to struggle at staying away from whatever that addiction is. So what I would say to you is to wean off or to quit cold turkey marijuana for the next 180 days, where you have none of it that you consume, and you see if that's something that you can achieve. Now, an addiction usually has or is associated with also having withdrawal symptoms that are natural from when you take away a substance. So over that 180 days, if you cold turkey, just pay attention and see if you have any kind of a withdrawal reaction. Some people actually don't, but most people do. So over that 180 days, I still actually want you to take the money that you would normally spend on marijuana and still put that aside in savings. And so at the end of 180 days, you'll actually have lowered your tolerances. So if you choose to start up again, you'll actually need less to get to those higher states that you are wanting to get to. And at the same time, you have a savings account for certain things that you may want to have covered, such as if you have a car maintenance issue or a family event coming up that you want to get some gifts, or at the same time, you necessarily just want to quit a job, move to a different job that has a better work environment for you. You have a bit of a spot me there, a bit of a ability to kind of buffer you from leaving that job into a new job. So that savings would be really good to have as well. So there's kind of two pros to doing the 180 day challenge. Is your tolerances will go back down. You'll need less marijuana, and you'll have a savings underneath you. And a lot of Americans actually live paycheck to paycheck. So this would actually be something good for you to do just in general. Now, what I would say to you is that if you decide after the 180 days to pick up marijuana again, I would say to you, why? What decision is it that you've made to pick it back up? And usually what you'll find is that there is part of the individual that wants to still not smoke, but then there's also part of that individual that has some justifications and reasons to why they just want to start back up again. They essentially detoxed for a bit, and that means they don't have an addiction. Well, if you pay attention to addictions for the most part, there's a lot of justification to why they're not addicted, to why they actually don't have a problem, and this substance, in a sense, is not an issue, and they are the ones in control. Now, if that was true, I would start to question that, especially if you take that savings that you've acquired over that 180 days and you start spending it on weed as well as weed paraphernalia, and especially if you start spending that money on more potent forms than what you smoked mostly prior. That would be a warning sign from me to you that you probably have an addiction. And if you want to get rid of this addiction and then have whatever you would spend on marijuana in a year in your own pocket that you could then turn around and invest into your own business, or that you could take and put into a savings account to where then that can accrue, or you can invest it somewhere. Those are all different things that you could do, but you have to want to do that, because a lot of the clients that I've seen over the course of many years actually spend a substantial amount of money to where they could actually go out and buy a new car, if not something else as well. So having that money that you would spend on something because you're lacking the ability to deal with life without that substance should be a major red flag. And if you are ready to face that and you want help with that and making that transition quite easy for yourself, reach out to me and I'll be more than glad to sit down with you and have a conversation. Take care. Give that 180-day challenge a go. Let me know how it goes.